find the believability in it. People must believe when they sit down in that audience, you know. So Cecilia, we've been doing this play about 20 years. The both plays like over 20 years. And Cecilia and I were never at that close, but that play brought us closer and closer and closer, and we got to be real friends. So as we did it more, you know, the realness of the friendship came out. And Jean and Dinah was always her best friend, so that realness was always there, you know. And my personality was always one that could always embrace people, you know. So finding friendships and thing was easy for in those characters. And then finding the hate with a character like Mule now, which was the antagonist sometimes, you know, he would be, you know, loud and brash and, you know, be one that would hold on and make her do his will. You know, I had to find now that that anxiety. He would get me anxious, you know. I had to find what Penny, what you have to pull out of you now to find that anxiety, because Glenn Davis, who played part, is my friend, but when I had that character confronting me as an actor now, we have to pull out where I'm going to get this anxiety, where I'm going to get this hate. Sometimes, you know, you hate this character, and you know why, you find out why you hate this character, and all these kind of things that as an actor you have to delve in to make it look real. So understanding the relationship with the other people in the room, why you feel that way about them, what emotions immediately run up in you as soon as you see this person. And yeah, those are the kind of things I had to do as a play. In a play, like you always find that some characters are totally opposite to you and the way you think. I mean, as an actor, because sometimes I have to play roles where I totally don't believe in their opinion or their emotional state. You know, I am totally it's not me at all. You know, so that's why we as actors we have to really bring a blank canvas and embody these people. And sometimes we go different places. I would walk the road and look at different personalities and say, aha, this match the character that I am going to play. Aha, I am going to pull out certain parts of my friends to make this character believable, you know? So these are some of the things that I do as an actor, you know, to break the seal. And then I'm asking myself, who are you? Who are you in this play, Penny? I always like to do that in every play. What part of you is this you see in this character? Because as an actor, you put a little bit of yourself sometimes, even though you get blank, it's a blank canvas. You're putting a little bit of yourself in it. So as each character come about, I try to put myself in it. Like for Jean and Dinah, I had a lot of sadness in my life when I was a lot younger, you know. So I have to bring back up that sadness now and let that. So when Jean has her monologues about the pain that she experienced as a young girl, I had my parallel pain. So it was real. It was, you know, it was tear jerking. And then when Mary Cadance was fighting with Mule now, and I brought out that time in school when I used to go to school, and I was bullied too. But then I was the one would try and do something creative to my people who bullied me. I remember, and we heard that there was going to be a fight in school after school, and I was very creative. I bought salt and pepper and a little foil paper, and I started going and throw it in the you know, or I would find some stupid way of dealing with things to make people laugh or or to get the fire out of me too, because I always had that fire in me sometimes, because my mother was like that. You know, my mother, you don't mix, you know, my mother would quarrel with the neighbors in my neighborhood for nothing, for just tell any of her children anything, and she would be giving them, and I would be the one crying at home, Mommy, stop it. And they would tell me, go inside and sit down and shut up. But that part of her, I admired. I mean, I thought I would never be that when I was younger. But then I got these parts as an actor. I got these parts to play. And I would remember that woman, that mouth that she had, and that mannerism, and that hand on the waist, and that neck, and don't tell me nothing, you know. So I grabbed those things. from my mother. So and as an actor, you go through a roller coaster of emotions sometimes with some plays, and sometimes you get so deep into the emotion. Like Mary Grant was very emotional, was such an emotional journey. How would I come out of that sometimes? And it's sometimes so difficult to come out of because you're so trapped. Sometimes you feel trapped by the character. The character overtakes you. So that's why I see some actors drink a lot. we we would go and lime after a play just to try and the, clean our bodies of the character, because sometimes they really they take you over. So, but it is important to separate. You have to know, you have to be a professional to understand that this is a role I am playing. I am not that person. Whatever it is, because some actors take it too far. I have worked on film set where an actor would be a lead in a movie, and they would think they're the lead in life, and they would think that they lead in the whole everything, and they would be walking with an attitude, and I am the lead in this movie or this play, and then the play ends and the movie ends and everybody going back, and they don't know how to come out of it because they just never found that avenue to come out of it. So it's important for actors or people to understand that, to separate rules, to separate emotions sometimes, to separate, what your school, you're going to school, and then you come home, you have to be able to separate. You're going to school and back, and that happen as a teacher. I teach. And sometimes, you say, you come home with it. Sometimes you have to leave it by the door, and that's always important as actors to know. Yes. Yeah. That's anything. Yeah. That's about it. So as a person now, I use the traits, the positive traits to build my brand, to build Penelope Spencer. Who am I? I take pieces of different people I see, because I was very shy as well. But I had that drive. I wanted something, and I had to talk to myself and say, Penny, you're not going to get it if you remain shy. Nobody going to listen to you. Nobody going to hear you. Nobody want a person who is in a corner and taking their time to make decisions. Or nobody wants that person that thinks less of themselves. So you have to force yourself to rise above the occasion sometimes. Um, and discouraged, you could get discouraged so easily in this business. I mean, I always say that the arts is a place where you could understand rejection. You get rejected sometimes. You go to audition for a movie or a play or a role in something, and you get rejected. But if you're a person, your personality is that I'm never going back to do that again because I got no, you would not survive in this business. You have to be able to understand that everything is not for you, and sometimes the thing that is for you is waiting. You always have to know that it's waiting. It's there. You have to always be prepared. So yeah, that's about any questions.
Thank you so much, Auntie Penny. Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you.
And we really appreciate you sharing that process with us. We're going to open up for questions in just a bit. But as we get ready to close, we look now at winning characteristics. And Auntie Penny just described one of those winning characteristics, which is persistence. And that means no matter what kind of rejection comes your way, you have to be determined and very persistent in your goal or what it is you want to achieve. In looking at Forbes, that was one of the main things in when they were researching billionaires, and successful people in general. That was the number one quality that they had, persistence. As I always say, there are many persons with businesses that would have started or things that they would have started doing. And you remember when they were starting off and they started really, really small, but they never gave up. They were persistent and they kept at it until that seed ended up being a very mighty tree. And the other thing is generosity. You never have too little to not give. Generosity. If you realize there's some kind of magic that happens when you give, when you give and you put your hand out to give, it's like you always put your hand out to be able to receive right back. And you don't give to receive, but you give because of the giving, because that is who you are. When you understand the act of giving and the benefits of giving, generosity, right?
I
The other
remember
thing, yes,
one
Auntie.
of the things you were saying, I didn't know if you said it before, I didn't hear it. And that I loved, and when we were talking earlier, you talk
Yes,
about when you're pointing your finger,
yes,
4 more fingers pointing back
pointing
at
back at you. And that was an Ethiopian monk shared that with me when I was about 18. And he said, always remember when you point one finger, they have several other fingers pointing back at you. Even your thumb pointing back at you. So
you.
careful with your pointing. And optimism, you know, being happy and being optimistic no matter what. You know, like my husband, for example, I would never forget when we were teenagers. Now, he met me when I was 14, right? And anytime he started to talk and he said something that I didn't appreciate, I would hang up the phone. But he was persistent and he really get through. And for 4 years, as I hang up the phone, he will call right back. Yeah, hello? Normal, like nothing. And I'll hang up the phone again because I say, this boy, like he mad boy. At a certain point in time, I just wanted to see, well, I wonder how many times he will call back. No matter how many times I hang up the phone, he will call back. And it's the same way he is as a businessman, because sometimes he wouldn't get a contract and he would be like, hey, I getting through with a bigger contract. And I will be like, but you didn't get the contract. No, I getting through with a bigger contract. You didn't hear my words. So
This is the power
optimism.
of the word as
Yes,
well, huh? It's the
correct.
power of the
Of the
word.
word. Yes.
Yes. I remember when I was younger, coming into Portis, when I was like, I started doing theater when I was about 18, 19. I had a son. And to get to Port of Spain, I would have to mop or drop because I had no money. I had like $10, and that was to get me back home. In
Wow.
those days, it was $10. And I'd be on the highway, mopping, drop, mopping. I can't do that now, but and then that was hard. And then after a while, I had to get to Port of Spain. So I made pulori and fudge and beef pie, and I would sell in San Fernando Market. In San Fernando Hospital, because I used to sell. That's what I would do because I wanted it, and if you want it so bad, you will have it. But persistence is important. Sorry.
Yes. No, not sorry. That is important because all of that is part of the persistence, part of the optimism, and part too of the generosity, because somebody had to be generous to give you a drop.
Exactly.
And in all that you do, remember at some point in time we were each helped at some point. And the other thing is planning, because I'm very sure when you were getting that drop, Auntie Penny, you had to plan to leave earlier.
Of course. Of course. Of course.
So planning is key. So as we're talking about winning characteristics, all of that is part of success. That is a word that is commonly used. But let's look now on exactly what is success. Of this, and Auntie Penny said something that was very potent, and that was living life with intention. And as I told her, the plan in terms of doing this, the intention behind it, was when we take a better look at ourselves, we're able now to make the unconscious conscious. And this is a time period that we're living in, this very thing that we're going through together, that we're all in together, which is the fight against this invisible enemy. It is a time that is calling us to be more conscious. Something like touching your face that you would have done unconsciously. Now we have to be conscious when we're doing that. Things that we would have done unknowingly. Now we have to be very mindful of what we're doing. So it is a time period as well in which we're being called to be more conscious. And all we're doing is trying to learn more about ourselves, achieve better self-knowledge, because when we know more about ourselves, we allow others to be. Money can't buy life. It's not what our bank account has, but it's the wealth that we have within us. So with that, thank you so very much, Auntie Penny, thank you. And at this time, we open up for any questions, any feedback that you might have, or if there's something of value that you wish to share.